What is going on, guys? This is Sports back here with another video, and in this one, we are going to be talking about. We are going to be doing kind of like a NHL beginning of the season preview, and we're going to just talk about the season with Frozen Donut. So sit back, relax, and hope you enjoy this show. What is going on, guys? I'm pleased to be joined by Frozen Donut, and today we're going to preview the Eastern Conference and Western Conference for the NHL season. So let's get started. So starting off with the Western Conference, this includes the Central Division and the Pacific Division. And there's a lot of good teams uh, like the Oilers and the Flames and the Sharks are looking good, and the Canucks too. Um,
Oh yeah.
so it's a pretty good. Uh, uh, I think it'll be a pretty good hockey season this season.
Oh, absolutely.
You
I
want
mean,
to
the
share
Western
some
Conference is going to
thoughts
be
this season?
yeah. The Western Conference is going to definitely be I feel like there's a lot of good teams in the Western Conference this year and it's going to be probably pretty tight to make the playoffs.
Mm.
We got LA that's I'm predicting is definitely going to make the playoffs. Edmonton's definitely going to make the playoffs. And then most likely the Canucks and Vegas. But we also got teams like Winnipeg and the Stars and Colorado. So there's just a
Yeah.
lot of teams. So I don't know how everyone's going to fit in this year.
And then also some new teams are coming out too, like the Seattle Kraken and the
Hmm.
Utah Hockey Club.
The Utah Hockey Club. I heard they won a game already.
Yeah, against I think it was the St. Louis Blues. I don't know for sure, but
I
yeah,
mean, I feel like a lot of people are doubting them because it's basically just the Coyotes,
yeah,
but they do have some solid players, that's for sure. We'll see how they do. And honestly, last year, I noticed that they were winning a lot more games, especially at the start of the season. I actually thought that they might make the playoffs,
mm,
but they kind of slowed down towards the end. But it's curious to see how they'll do towards the end of the season.
yeah. And then there's like a lot of good players in the Western Conference, like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, to name a couple, and
Hmm.
also like Adrian Kempe from the Kings, and uh, yeah, there's just like a lot of good talent in the Western Conference as a whole too.
Absolutely. Who do you think's going to win the Western Conference like trophy at the end of the year?
Uh, I don't know. Maybe like the Oilers are the front runner,
Hmm.
uh, followed by the maybe maybe like the maybe like the Canucks or like the Kings or something.
Absolutely. That sounds good with me.
And then moving on to the Eastern Conference, there's a lot of good teams in that division too. Like there's the Bruins and the Panthers, uh, and then also the Lightning. They have a lot of good players too. Um,
Hmm.
then there's also um, the uh, like the Rangers. They had some pretty good goaltending last year.
Yep.
Um, and just a lot of good players in the Eastern Conference. Um,
I'm curious how the Panthers are going to do because I remember they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals the year before they won it this year, and
yeah,
their head coach was like, "Yeah, we're completely burnt out. We're not even. I'll be surprised if we made the playoffs." And then look what they did this year. They won the cup. So I mean, they clearly are a powerhouse when it comes to performing. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw them in the finals again this year.
yeah,
It doesn't look like they're slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah, I think the Panthers are a team to watch this year. Obviously with a lot of like returning players like Matthew Tkachuk
Hmm.
um like Sam Bennett, but they also like lost Ryan Lomberg to the Flames. Um,
Oh
so
yeah.
so it's going to be a really interesting year to watch, especially like with a couple players like moving around.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Toronto Maple Leafs this year? I mean, they always seem to make the playoffs, but it's always first round elimination for them. You
Yeah,
think
I
they're
mean,
gonna finally beat their fears and get past first round?
yeah, the past couple of years they lost against the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I think they have a shot this year, especially if they have uh, like good goaltending this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What
Uh,
about the Boston Bruins?
the Boston Bruins, they're a pretty good team uh, as well. They have a lot of good players, like Brad Marchand.
Mhm.
I mean, he's a hated player around the league, but
Yeah, absolutely.
he generates like momentum for the Bruins, and then also David Pastrnak on the Bruins too. He's pretty good, and then also they got a goalie. They had a goalie for goalie trade this offseason with
Oh
the
yeah.
Senators. I think they traded,
Yolmark.
yeah, Omar for Corpusalo.
Hmm.
So it's going to be pretty interesting to what like watch what happens with the Bruins this year. And then they also went out and got Elias Lindholm, the Canucks.
And Nikita Zadorov as well, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
yeah,
So they're gonna have a pretty strong defense.
yeah,
And I mean, Zadorov is 6'6". I mean, I'm looking at their defensive list. There's not one guy that's shorter than 6'1". We got guys that are 6'5", 6'6", 6'4". So I would say they have a pretty strong defense this year.
yeah. And and they play the Canucks, or no, they play the Kings today, the Bruins.
Hopefully,
So
I'm cheering for the Kings.
yeah, pretty interesting matchup. And then
Hmm.
moving on to the playoff prediction. Uh, as we said before, there's a lot of good teams, but
Hmm.
out of the West, I got the Kings to make the playoffs. The Oilers, obviously, probably the Canucks again. Um, Probably the Stars, the Avalanche, and then um, I kind of like the Utah Hockey Club to make the playoffs this year. And then uh,
Hmm.
and then uh, and I kind of like the uh, Minnesota Wild uh, and then the Calgary Flames to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I would say for the Western Conference, um, definitely the Oilers are gonna make it. LA Kings, Vancouver Canucks. It'd be cool to see the Utah Hockey Club make it in there as well. I think Winnipeg Jets are also going to make the playoffs. And then probably Colorado again.
Yeah,
And then we'll see. Last year the Stars got in, but maybe St. Louis.
yeah.
I'm feeling, but that's just my prediction.
And then the
And
Eastern
Vegas.
Conference, I believe there's a lot of good teams in the Eastern Conference as well. But I think the Red Wings can make a playoff push.
Hmm.
Um, I think the Bruins, the Panthers, the um, maybe uh, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Maple Leafs, the Rangers again, and then Senators. I kind of like that team, and the uh, probably the maybe the Capitals. I kind of like that team as well.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I would say both the Florida teams are going in for sure. Tampa and Panthers. Um, Boston's gonna probably make it in again. The Leafs are probably gonna make it. Um, New York Rangers. And I think we're going to see, we didn't see this last year, but Philadelphia Flyers are looking very solid this year. John Tortorella as their coach, very solid team. Looks like they have a lot of depth built into their team this year, and their defensive end is incredible. So I think we're going to see the Flyers enter this year, as well as I think the Hurricanes are going to make the playoffs. And then who else? Let's see how they're doing right now.
Maybe like
Maybe even Pittsburgh.
yeah,
We
Pittsburgh.
haven't seen them in a while, but that'd be
Yeah,
cool to see Pittsburgh coming.
yeah. Especially like since they have like Sidney Crosby,
Yeah.
another good player in the NHL.
Crosby in the playoffs would be awesome.
Yeah,
I don't think he's been in the playoffs in a while, so
yeah. Probably like a good 5 years, I would say.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But that makes sense. He's getting older now, but he's still a good player.
yeah. All right, and that'll do with the preview for the NHL season. Hope all goes well with the NHL season. And thank you for joining us today, Frozen Donut,
No problem.
and and hope you enjoy the rest of the NHL season as well. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you drop a like and consider subscribing. Um, and thank you to Frozen Donut for making this happen. I really enjoyed breaking down the NHL season with him, and I hope it goes well. But as I said, thank you guys for watching this video, and hope you guys have a uh, great time watching the NHL this season.